what it is. Brad Lea back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs today in the studio, folks. As always, I've still not missed a day of bringing you a treat, and today's no different. I got you two treats today, Jason and Jenna Arsenault. Now, it's Arsenault, right?
It is, yep.
Even though it's spelled Arsenault.
Yes.
It's Arsenault.
Arsenault,
it's almost French, of course. Mm-hmm. And you guys are from Canada.
Yes, we are.
And you guys are the president and CEO of Arsenal Canine.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Brad, for having us on the show. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we have such a story to tell you on how we got here and how we met and how we got to this point. But I want to get this out here right away. If anybody loves their dog, I'm going to give you my phone number right off the bat. It's 601-533-5554. If you need anything about dogs, if you have any questions about dogs, hit us up. We train everything: small dogs, big dogs, aggressive dogs, nervous dogs, reactive dogs, protection dogs, police dogs, everything. So if you have any question dog related, if you want to know about our programs, that number I gave you is the number that Jenna phones me on. So that's my number.
I got him trained really well.
She trains me.
You just gave a ton of people your phone number.
I did.
How do you know they're all going to call you? Well, maybe they'll start pranking you.
You know what? That's what we're looking forward to.
Okay. Bomb Squad, he's looking for some pranks. Let's make him regret giving out a phone number.
Oh,
no, let's don't. Let's call him if you have any dog questions. And there's a lot of people that have dogs, obviously. What's the percentage of people that have dogs in the world?
I think it's probably about at least 75%.
So that means there's 75% good people in the world.
I would think so, yeah.
Because if you don't have a dog, I got to question you.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and if it's cat stuff, sorry.
You can't have a cat. I mean, dude, I like cats. I don't mind cats, but you got to have a dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you don't have a dog, something's wrong.
It says something about you for sure.
Yeah. Now, again, in some cases, I would recommend someone doesn't have a dog. Like, for example, let's say one of my kids, are going off to college, and they want to get a puppy. No. Get a puppy after you get out of college. Mm-hmm. Why? Well, because you got to give them attention. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's why I don't bring them everywhere. Because, dude, I got shit to do, and I don't have time to be paying attention to a dog whenever I go somewhere.
And that's one of the biggest problems with our training programs is we preach to people that they need to do that follow-up after the training's done.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull that mic closer.
All right, sorry about that.
It moves. No, just pull it to where you're comfortable. There you go.
There we go. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever makes you comfortable.
So you can send your dog away to us for a month at a time, or we can do our one-on-one training programs. But if you don't do anything after the training, that training's all just going to go away.
See, that's another thing that I found out. That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
So you spend all that time and money training a dog, and then it goes away.
Well, it's just like weight loss, right? If you're not constantly eating better and working out and fitness, all that kind of stuff, you're going to get fat again.
Right? I know, but a dog has a brain.
It's not the same kind of brain as we have, though, unfortunately.
So there's no memories?
There is a little bit. Yeah, they retain things, but it's that muscle memory, right? So
they don't have much memories, because like I'll leave the house for 5 minutes, come back home, she'll act like freaking I've been gone for a month.
Yeah.
And then I'll literally leave, go out to the garage, come back in, and she forgot completely that she got excited again, and she's excited again.
Well, that's how I tell if Jenna or who likes me more, the dog or Jenna, right? I lock them both in the trunk of my car, and a little while later I'll let them out, and whoever is more excited to see me, that's the one who loves me most. She's mostly mad, but
yeah.
No.
Well, I think a dog usually probably does love a person more than their spouse.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're
loyal.
They are
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like there's no. Well, there could be. I was going to say there could be coaxing a dog. I've never tried, but you can coax women away from their men, and you can coax men away from their women fairly easy. Yeah. Men easier than women, but still.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a dog being coaxed away. Like, that's your dog. I can't sit there and be all nice to it and have it want to come with me.
No, I mean we've sold dogs that go to their new owners, and they make a bond with that owner. But if I come around, then that dog is coming right back to me, depending on the time I've had them, like especially puppies that we've raised.
Don't you feel bad selling them?
We do a little bit.
You do, but the thing is you see them excelling in another, environment, right? So with a lot of these working dogs, they're meant for working, right? So when you train them and then they go into these, you know, departments and you see them actually on the streets doing work, like that's awesome to see. Or dogs that don't meet those expectations and they're, you know, active pet dogs, seeing them with, you know, an owner where they can, you know,
get out, hiking,
do all that kind of stuff too. So I find like it is sad, you do build these bonds with these different dogs, but seeing them in environments where they excel is, I don't know, that's rewarding.
Well, just like on the way here, we dropped off a dog. We had a puppy that we had raised the litter, right? My female had a litter of puppies, and we raised it up till 10 months old, and we donated them to the Montgomery Police Department.
Why Montgomery Police Department?
Well, I had some connections there. I've trained with some of those guys before, so I thought maybe it'd be a good place for him to work, and so they're going to see how he does, and like he's turning out pretty good so far. So that's rewarding in itself. Just having that dog that you've raised, even though you have a bond with him, sending them out to do something that they are meant to do.
You used to be a cop?
I did.
For 15 years?
15 years with Saskatoon Police Department in
Saskatoon.
Yeah, Saskatoon.
I thought that they only had Royal Mounted Police up there.
No, lots of places have municipal departments. Yeah, there's a couple provinces that have provincial police, but
yeah, a little bit different than the States.
It's a lot
Did you
different.
meet him when he was a cop?
No.
Thank goodness.
No.
Why, thank goodness.
A totally different person now. Totally different person.
It's better as a dog trainer now, I guess.
What made you decide to train dogs instead of being a cop?
Well, I actually had a call during my policing career where it didn't sit well with me. I ended up getting post-traumatic stress disorder from this call. And then I was recommended that I didn't go back to policing. So,
is that what they call it? Policing?
Policing, yeah. Law enforcing. I don't know.
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement, yeah. So I just say policing. But I was told not to go back. I really didn't know what else I was going to do. And, I had a passion for dogs. My dad used to raise dogs for the Mounties. And so I had some experience there. And I just decided to make a business out of it. I just, I was done, had no income coming in, and I needed to support my family. So
now, did you know her at the point?
No.
So were you scared?
Oh, yeah, I was very scared.
Did you think, oh shit, my world's going to crash?
Yep. I thought it was, I was looking for other jobs I could do. So get this, I started driving bus.
So they wouldn't let you police anymore?
Well, the department probably would have, but they would have put me in like a different section. But my doctors and stuff required me to not have certain.
You must have saw some traumatic shit.
Yeah, it was
like dead babies and shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. So that was the reason why I went off. It was actually a call that I attended to. We beat the paramedics there, and I had to do CPR on this baby, and it was a lot for me.
I bet.
I was going through a divorce at the time as well, and I had my little guy was 2-3 years old at the time too, so it kind of messed me up, and yeah,
mess anyone up.
Yeah.
That's especially when it's kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, someone even, I was talking to a cop friend of mine. He walked in and saw this lady with her head blown off. Mm-hmm. That messed him up, and it was a full grown lady.
Yeah.
But she apparently shot herself in the head, and it was like open, and like,
totally.
Brains are on the wall. It's like, what the hell? Are you serious? He's like, yeah. And it messed him up. You think, who cares? Like, I could see it, but until you do, you don't know any better.
Well, exactly.
And then I think a lot of it depends too on, like you said, like what else is going on in your life at that time, like the certain connections that your brain will make, to what other stuff you have going on, right?
Yeah.
So,
Jenna, what'd you do before?
a lot of stuff. So I did run my own dog training business kind of as a side hustle for a while.
Coincidentally?
Yeah. So that's how we met, was through dog training. But, I tried doing like the 9 to 5. I actually wanted to get into working dogs. So I got hired on as like basic level security guard. And what I wanted to do was get my dogs involved in the security stuff. So I get hired for this company. It was a marijuana company in Canada because I got legalized. So we go in, and they had like no policies, no procedures, nothing for security. They didn't even know we need licenses and stuff. So I came in, and I don't even think I did much for actual security guard stuff. I had just kind of learned how to build a a whole department for security. And then, so yeah, I built their, majority of their security department, and then just kind of I like challenging myself. So I'd achieved that, and that was cool. So then I'm like, okay, what's the next thing? Well, they had no training for any of the staff or any documentation of this, which is crazy. This is a really, big marijuana company. And so I built their whole training program, and then I realized that I'm putting a lot of effort into building other people's stuff, and I'm still constricted. Your pay is not really getting increased. I'm doing my dog training in the evenings and on the weekends, and I'm just, I enjoyed it, but I took that leap and just had to go work for myself. I needed that 100% control, I guess, of...
Were you afraid?
Yes, I don't know. I enjoy taking risks. I don't know. It's weird. I kind of like that adrenaline, like, holy shit, like, I don't know how this is going to work. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like we were just talking about this, like what's the worst that happens? The worst thing that happens is you run out of money and you go get a job again. And
see, now a lot of people will exaggerate the worst that can happen.
Yeah.
Because I always teach people to think, what's the worst that can happen? And what is the worst thing that can happen?
Go bankrupt.
I think that's the worst thing that can happen. You go bankrupt.
That is not the worst thing that can happen. What else can happen?
I guess you could die.
You could die. That is the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
So when you say, well, what's the worst that could happen? Instantly you think, not going to die.
Yeah.
Might go broke.
Yeah.
I can get another job.
Yeah.
And that's why me and you are entrepreneurs. That's why I have multiple companies. Why? Because what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
It doesn't work, and I go get a job. I had a job before I started my company. The difference is with my company, I'm the boss.
Exactly.
I do what I want to do, even though I do what I don't want to do in order to be the boss.
Yep.
I do what I want to do.
Yeah.
No one tells me what to do. If I want to take an extra 2 weeks to drive around the country, I can. I can take a month off if I want. I don't have to ask. I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
but that's because I think the same thing you just said.
Yeah.
So that's what people need to pay attention to.
There you go. One of our goals is to get a bomb on here.
You got one.
Yeah. It is a competition though. So we'll see.
although it was mine. No, it was yours. Because it's true. But you didn't say it as a lesson. I'm making it one so people can understand that you have to sometimes think in your head, what is the worst that can happen? Because 9 times out of 10, it's not that big of a deal. People say, well, Brad, that's easy for you to say because you got all this money. Well, if I lost all my money, I would just go make more some other way. Yes, it's a bitch. Yes, it's inconvenient, but it's not like the end of life.
Yeah.
It's like an inconvenience. Big deal. It's like, come on. That's what risk is about.
Totally.
And it pays off. It's paid off for you guys now. Yeah. You got your children's book. What's this?
So that's a book I wrote for, ages probably about 5 to 6 years old about, learning how to adapt with a new dog in the house. Different responsibilities that are going to come from getting a puppy in the household. And my son, it's named after my son Odin's new best friend, and he doesn't like dogs,
which is weird.
Which is weird, but yeah,
who doesn't like dogs?
I know.
Yeah, he's a
you better
cat
go
person.
question that boy.
Yeah.
Well, his mom likes cats, and so that's the book. I kind of wrote that. And
what makes that book really nice is that, a big thing I think is people, they get puppies, like kids will want puppies but they don't
every kid usually wants a puppy.
Exactly. So it's a common thing, but how do you explain, we're always like, oh, there's responsibilities that come with puppies, right? But
yeah, but they're the parents' responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they end up being, right? So
they shouldn't be.
Well, I know, but I told my girls, if we get it, you're going to do you're going to feed them and you have to pick up their shit and all this. And then of course they okay, but then they never do.
Yeah.
And then you end up doing it.
Yeah.
Because the dog has to be fed.
Yeah, exactly.
But I see what you're saying. So that book would help a parent teach their kid the responsibilities of a puppy.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think anyone who's ever going to get a puppy should get that book first.
I think so. For kids.
Where do they get it?
From Amazon. Yeah.
Odin's new best friend.
That's right.
That's a good idea. Write a little book. Make sure they have an understanding of responsibility.
Yeah.
And then you wrote the Ultimate Canine Planner.
So this planner is basically, I like writing notes. I like anything with training, you have to, I personally believe, document where you're at, right? Because it's easy to kind of get into like a spiral of doing the same thing over and over and over again. So,
but isn't that training?
Yes, but I think you also have to kind of push that next level too, right? You can kind of get in your comfort zone, and then you got to push to that next level to, achieve more goals, right? So I find with dog training, like, let's say you're walking, so I'm just going to do turns, right? And I'm going to keep doing turns with my dog. Well, then you end up doing left turns over and over, and you can't do a right turn, right? So you get stuck in doing typically what you're good at, right? And then you don't push these next levels, so you can't get, the full complete picture. So with this planner, not only does it help you document what you're doing, but it helps break down goals. So I personally think you need to have a goal with your dog. So if you don't understand, what your end game is, how do you know what to aim for, right? So this helps you figure out, okay, what kind of dog do you have? Because we could go deep dive into this, but like there's genetics. So you're going to have dogs that are genetically going to be better at different things than other dogs, right? Like these Shepherds and Malinois, they like to,
Don't you think Malinois are the best?
I think Malinois are the best. She's
German Shepherds.
She was more of a German Shepherd.
German Shepherds get too big.
They're not supposed to. Like they're supposed to be smaller.
My buddy has German Shepherds. They're monsters.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Big old freaking faces. Big old snouts.
I know. The ones I like, they're more like Malinois. They're smaller. They're agile.
So you like Malinois?
Yeah, we'll say that.
She does now.
I've now said that.
Yeah, Malinois are like lean German Shepherds.
Yes. Yeah. Very athletic. Yeah. So, but yeah, with that planner, basically it helps you set that goal so that you understand kind of, and make sure like you're gauging, like, I know we had this conversation in, I think this was April last year, where you'd mentioned like, having the small attainable goals, right? So everyone always sets these big goals that are, hard to really track that progress, right? And that's the same thing with dogs. You need to have these small attainable goals so that you can ensure that you're kind of staying on that right track, right?
And you're building confidence.
Yeah, building confidence.
In the dog and you as a trainer.
Yeah. So this kind of just helps you stay on track with that. And
where do they get that?
Same thing, Amazon.
What if they go to arsenalcanine.com? What's that?
Yeah, we have a shop on our website. You can get it from there, but it eventually just leads you through to Amazon as well. Yeah,
that's what I do with my book.
Yeah.
It's because I don't want to ship it and all that deal.
Oh, they've made it like super easy.
So folks, by the way, you want to follow them on Instagram at Arsenal Canine and at Arsenal_Canine. What's the difference? My team did this, so maybe it's wrong.
So
you go ahead.
What's your IG, Jenna?
So the IG is Arsenal Canine Academy. So this is new. It was Arsenal Canine, but since we have
doesn't even matter. It's Arsenal Canine Academy.
There you go.
That's where they follow you.
That's where they'll follow us. Yeah.
Now do you guys have your own personal accounts or no?
We do. We have IG is the official Jason Jenna. So we have that on there.
You guys are like a couple forever.
We are.
Like you can't even have your own IG account.
No. Because I'm the one managing it. So
are you guys joint bank accounts?
We do.
Yeah.
You join everything?
Everything.
Yeah. Any prenups involved?
No,
we
had nothing when we started.
Well, dude, you still get a prenup.
Yeah.
What if you have something when you end?
Well, then we built it together.
In your guys' case, that would be true.
Yeah.
But in a lot of people's cases, the wife goes out and invents something and gets super rich. Dude's getting paid. And vice versa, which is usually what happens is the dude goes out and makes a big company and the girl's getting paid. But if you're all in love and you built it together, that's admirable.
Yeah, we're kind of weird.
But if you don't listen to Kanye, he says, or I don't know, it's Kanye, who says get a prenup?
I think that's isn't that Kanye?
I think it's Kanye.
He wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, he's driving gold digger.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want a prenup.
Yeah.
No matter what. We want prenups.
Yeah.
So what happened was I had the Arsenal Canine for probably about 4 years before we actually met. And like I said, I came from a policing background. I'm not a business background. I knew nothing about policies, we documented stuff, but it wasn't the same as what I should have been doing. So when I met her, she complimented that side of the business for me. And before we even started dating, we were kind of working together. She was helping with some of the policies and the paperwork.
When you were doing that, were you looking at her thinking, dang, I'd like to tag that?
Oh yeah.
Now, what were you thinking?
Well, I think that personal relationship was there before the business relationship, I would say. Well, it was kind of
the same time.
Yeah, but what were you thinking? This is before you all knew each other's true intentions.
Oh yeah.
Well, she added me on Facebook, and then
what were you thinking? Dude, I like this guy.
Oh yeah, totally. Like I said, I added him on Facebook. I take advantage of every opportunity that I can get. So I was like, who's this guy?
And now you're traveling all over, training dogs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Happy couple.
Yeah.
Yep.
Book authors.
Yeah. I don't think we've actually been apart for longer than 2 hours since almost a year now.
Did you say frick?
Frick.
She said frick.
Frick.
Is that short for frickin'?
Yeah. Oh. Must be a Canadian thing.
So I see in your story here that you're also going to be, your next step is to start a security company.
Well, that was at the time that we did this. So I went down to Florida in November, and I took a hostage rescue tactical SWAT course with a company, Israeli Tactical. So we did a course, and I learned some of that stuff. And then I was going to come back for the VIP protection side of it. But
bodyguard and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Bodyguard stuff. But then I'm thinking, I don't really want to be the guy that's doing it. I'd rather just...
Not only that, why would you want to take a bullet for some motherfucker?
I don't know.
Because a lot of times it's just some fucking rich, it's just some rich dude hiring you to protect him.
Yeah.
So you take the bullet, dude. I'll give you money. You take a bullet. Shit, you ain't paying me to take your bullet, bitch. If someone's out for you, it ain't going through me.
Yeah.
So,
but hey, that's why you got to respect bodyguards, police officers, law enforcement, because, dude, they're willing to stand in between.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot you're a cop. That's why.
Yeah.
So
I'm a cop, FYI.
I heard that. We heard you were sworn in.
Well, I am a sworn officer, but I am not an active law enforcement officer. I've never even served one day. So just for the record, don't anyone think I'm claiming that I was a cop. I was given a badge and sworn in as an honorary police officer, but I learned later from another cop friend of mine that you shouldn't have been sworn in if you're honorary.
I think
and I'm like, well, yeah, but no, she swore me in, and they're like, well, are you sure? I'm like, dude, I'm telling you. And then I showed him the certificate, and I showed him the video, and he goes, dude, that makes you an actual police officer, sworn officer. I said, cool. I've always wanted to be one.
Jump in the next car.
Yeah. Well, no, it was out of Oroville, California. Yeah. So I'd have to be in Oroville first.
Yeah.
And secondly, it was honorary. Yeah. She had no intention of making me a police officer. But anyway, so the long story short is you guys met. Mm-hmm. You happened to be dog trainer. He was also a dog trainer, and you said, hey, let's merge this deal and train dogs. Mm-hmm. And now you train dogs all over, and for canine, for police, for protection, for not shitting on the floor, all kinds of dogs.
For pet dogs too. We were just we were in Florida just a little bit ago. I'm helping a guy train a tracking dog because he's going to be going to Africa for poachers detection, tracking, so to find poachers. Interesting fact, I know you like rhinos. There was 448 rhinos poached last year, and only about 130 some arrests for poachers in Africa. So there's an big initiative going on right now. There's a lot of people from North America heading over there to help train these dogs to, track poachers. So I was
keep going.
Yeah. So I was helping this guy. He's been invited to go next year if he can get all qualified and certified. So that's what we were doing in Florida for, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So getting him going. So yeah. So stuff like that.
Are you both out there helping?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does more. I like doing the business stuff, but I'll help a lot I'll help when it's needed for the working dog and stuff. But
so the reason I ask is because it seems like with your background and everything that you just train dogs to sniff drugs and detect bombs and shit. No, you'll teach a poodle how to not piss on the floor.
Yeah.
Puppy training, or what do you call it? Potty training.
Body training.
Yeah.
Obedience training.
Yes.
Housebreaking.
Basically, like what we like to do is our specialty is what I call real life results. So it's not, it's not about like super fancy shit and spins and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we can, but that's not what we specialize in. We specialize in having people, like you were just saying, being able to take their dogs out and enjoy their dogs and all these different locations.
Knowing
right?
they'll behave.
Knowing they'll behave, like walk beside me, they're not, blowing you off and not coming back to you, right? Like just those the fundamentals in, having a dog so that you can take them anywhere.
Like one time I did take my dog places before. And one time, I had it on the leash and the leash wasn't one of those chokers, so it was kind of loose. Mm-hmm. She pulled her head out of it and started running towards the street. I had a heart attack. Thought she was going to get crushed by a car. I'm calling her to get over there. She's not listening. It's like, come on. And then, another time, another dog came around and my dog tore out after it. Like, what do you do? It's like, dude, you just leave them at home.
Yeah.
Or train them.
Or train them. Because we went and I'm going to use Andy Elliott thing. We battle tested these dogs. So our dogs, we took them out to Miami, to the Brickell area down in Miami Beach. Had these dogs off leash, walking around, tons of people, tons of cars, took them on the patio, had them under the chairs while we...
Yeah, but they're trained.
They're trained, exactly.
Yeah.
So
through the system.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, I know you have a training system, an online training system. Is that done?
Yep.
It is done, yep.
To where an average Joe can log in and have you guys pop up and train them on demand, basically, on all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Even bite work?
We haven't got a bite work one yet. The next ones we're going to be adding is going to be tracking.
Yeah, well, most people aren't looking to train their dogs to bite.
No.
They're looking for the stuff you got.
Yeah.
What about shake hands, play dead, roll over, stuff like that?
No, we don't have those tricks yet.
Why not?
We're getting there.
Dude, I want to get my dog to shake hands. How do I do it?
We just launched. We're going through Lightspeed, right? So we've got two programs right now. We have our puppy program, which
That's
is
the best one.
Yeah, that's going to be the one that gets your dog the confidence.
Keeps
builds that relationship with you. What's that?
Is it housebreaking?
Yeah, there's housebreaking involved in that one.
Yeah, because here's the problems with dogs. Most regular people, they'll get a dog. They don't know how to housebreak it. Mm-hmm. They start pissing and shitting all over the house. They get tired of the dog, frustrated with the dog, start yelling at the dog, and it just ends up not as well.
Yeah.
Where if the pet store would give somebody like a virtual training like yours to take home, and then once you've gone through the puppy training, then you get to pick up your puppy.
Yeah.
We should do that with human babies too.
We should. We should.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's what I think.
Yeah. So I'm going to give everyone a tip out there. If you're getting a puppy, the best way to housebreak your dog without even getting a trainer is keep it on a leash 100% of the time. That's it.
People don't like it.
People don't like it because you're dragging your dog around the house. If your
why would that work?
Because if your dog's on a leash, it's not chewing anything because you can see it. It's not going to pee anywhere because you're right there. You can take it outside when you see the signs.
But if they start to piss, you just yank them outside.
Take them outside.
You'll start like little signs. You'll start noticing too, like sniffing, things like that. They'll, a little bit distracted, and then you pop outside. And
we have one puppy right now. She's a black lab. If she has to poop, she just starts spinning in circles and like full 100% spinning in circles and running, and then she all of a sudden just dead stop and go.
Well, I wish like mine gave signs like that.
Yeah.
Mine looks fine. I say, you want to go outside? There's no noise. I go walk into the bathroom. I come back out. There's shit on the floor. Now this was before, because I did. I don't know if it's appropriate, but I did the old fashioned potty training or housebreaking. Is that what you call it? Housebreaking?
Housebreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I did the old fashioned my dad taught me, and that's where you grab the dog by the back of the neck and you smash its face near or in the shit, and then you smack its ass and you throw it outside.
Yeah.
It works though.
Well, I don't know if it works or if it
works. My dog quit shitting in the house.
It could have been something else, but I think dogs typically run on a 3-second loop. So by the time that you notice, I mean, unless you're catching them, they shit and then you're putting their nose in it right away. They don't really associate that with it.
They just think you're being a dick.
Yeah. Sorry. but
that's interesting for people to understand.
Yeah, it is. Like, so,
because like you're thinking they know. And by the way, I might have to disagree with you.
I know where you're going with this.
Well, that's because my dog, you know, when she did something she shouldn't have done, because when you walk into the room, she goes, and she's looking around all freaking worried and shit. And then you're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And then you look, oh, I see what you did. She knows what she did. And she knows it was wrong, or she wouldn't be doing this. And it's like long after she's done it.
Well, there's associated behaviors like that. So if you've ever caught her doing something like that before, and then you walk in the room, then she's going to be associating what happened the previous time. So it's...
Well, that's probably why she stopped doing it, because now she really doesn't.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, I will see a big puddle of piss on the floor, and we have 2 small dogs and a large one. So when the piss size is usually what gives it away, and the shit size definitely gives it away.
Yeah.
Who did what?
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll go in and there's a large piss puddle, and it's like, you know, I want to get mad, but you know, how can you get mad? You didn't let it out. You know, but my dog won't bark to be let out either.
Yeah, that's where you like having that routine. So setting them up on a routine. When they get up, let them out. If they're sleeping and they wake up, let them out. If they eat, let them out, you know, 10 minutes later.
What if they don't want to go out?
I'd wait. Like, I personally wait them out. I'd wait them out outside. Sometimes you can do like little tricks where you come back in for like a minute, because it'll happen. You hear people all the time, like, I let my dog out 10 minutes, did nothing. I came back in a minute later, they pooped in the house, right? So I do like a little trick where I'll come in and then, you know, 1 minute and then back right outside again, and then waiting. The nice thing is if you start it early enough with that routine and you get them going outside, and then, you know, you can do things like rewarding that behavior, let them go outside, and then, you know, reward with food or reward with pets. Now it's kind of like a trick, right? And they're like, okay, I'm going to go out, pee, do my thing, and then I can come back in and play, right?
And then you can put a name to it or a command to it, and then you have their dog going poop on command or pee on command. So yeah, it's just all about consistency and routine.
So if I take your training online, your online training academy, I'll learn how to do that myself.
Yep.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Or I can just send the dog to you.
Or you can send it to us. Yeah. So what we're trying to do now is we find that Lightspeed is such a good program, and it has so many features that we can utilize with the training, that we're trying to, we would prefer a lot of people go to the online training, because that way it's repetitive. Like, they have access to the program for life, right? So if they forget something,
and it gets them up to speed quicker.
Exactly. And then we find that, because a lot of people, when they come to us, I talked about this before, they don't follow through with it, right? So we spend a month training the dog, and then we teach people how to follow through with it, and most people don't. So we find that if we have a lower price point with the VT system, they're learning how to do it, as long as they don't have huge behavior problems with their dogs. If it's just your everyday, you need to get your dog out into real life situations and that kind of good obedience, then the Lightspeed is going to be the way to go, because then you have access to that training for life, and you can also upgrade, and you can have Zoom calls with us and our trainers as well. So if you're having issues with something, you can, you know, get that as part of the package.
So anybody having a dog problem, this is your solution. Now, if anybody you're having a business problem, these guys started it from scratch.
We did.
We almost died coming to meet. Well, not me. He almost died coming to meet you.
Why? How's that work?
All right. So this is a funny. So back when you did that weekend MBA in April,
I didn't do it, but yeah.
Yeah, you were there.
You see the next one that's coming up?
No.
I did see an email for it, but I didn't.
Yeah. So back in that time, COVID was like
Canada was crazy.
The rules in Canada.
I think it was because of the weekend MBA the COVID happened.
Probably. But we
I don't know, because it's getting there. Yeah, we couldn't. Anyways.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to leave the country in Canada if we had that, you know, jibby jab thing, right? So we weren't allowed to leave the country. So I don't know how many times I was on the phone with your staff being like, is this refundable? Like, if I don't get across the border, can I get my money back? Because
they came and asked me that, and I said, yeah, if he can't get the damn permission to come, we'll give him money back.
Because we're not like, we didn't want the base ticket, right? We wanted I don't know, I started listening to you probably about 2 years ago, and you were the only podcast I ever listened to. And I told Jenna, I said, I'm going to be on that podcast one day. And
here you are.
And here I am. Boom. So we were, we had this goal to get here, so we bought the VIP tickets
because we're not just gonna be in the back. Like, we got to be at the front. We wanted to meet. Our biggest goal coming down was, with relationships, right, is meeting people. Because at that time in our life, it was just us, like our circles. I mean, like you said, you love your family, but they're like, you guys are crazy. You're doing this. Like, why are you guys doing this? Why are you guys doing that? Yeah.
Right. What's your real job going to be?
Yeah. What's your real job? Or like, what if this doesn't work out? And all this, like, that was our constant. Like, I think we cleaned out our circle hard last year. And
so you cleaned out your circle. See, these are lessons. This is an entrepreneurs podcast, kind of. So those are the lessons we want to. We aren't here to teach people how to do the dogs, but if you need the dogs, they got you.
Exactly.
No.
So Jenna sold a bunch of feet pictures to get us the money.
No. Why?
That's a joke. No.
Are your feet good?
I mean, they're nice, but no.
Can you imagine someone having a fetish with feet? Because there are.
Yeah, they are.
You see these videos all the time of these people making money, but that's worst case scenario. If none of this, works out, then we'll look that way.
OnlyFans page.
Yeah, there you go.
So you got rid of a lot of negative people and crap. Yeah. How'd that work out?
It was tough.
Tougher for him than me.
It was tougher for me. I had, there's friends that people I had been friends with for a long time, that we had to just cut ties with, because there was always that negativity there. And anytime that I would try and progress, it was like, well, maybe you're going too fast, or maybe you're doing this. Like, we have within. You
know what they're doing? They're casting their limitations and doubts onto you.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly. And within 3 years, I had, now we're up to like 5 locations in Western Canada for actual physical training businesses. So I expanded very fast because the need was there. And, so like I said, we had to get rid of some people in our lives, and
business and personal. Like, we cleaned out a lot in the business too, because they culture reasons, right? Yep. So we were at this point where we were like, we need to meet people that are already steps ahead of us, so that we know like what to aim for, and have people that we can bounce things off of, like, hey, this is what we're going through, right? We got a lot of new things popping up, and we're like, how else do you meet people like that? Well, you got to go invest some money in events. So we didn't want to be in the back row. We wanted to be like front row. So we're committing to this 100%. We are going to get across this border. We don't know how, but we'll figure it out. So, and everything, like our flights and all that. Because we basically.
Was it?
It was the Weekend NBA in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't even my event.
You were there. And that's the reason why we were going.
Well, I was there, and it looked like my event, and everyone kind of thought it was my event, but it wasn't my event.
But you know what, Brad? I know you had some. You said in your event that there was some issues with it that you wish you could have changed, or you didn't like, or whatever. But for us, being there as first time,
it was a pivotal moment.
It was a pivotal moment for us.
Mm-hmm. So, or that whole event. So.
Yeah.
It worked well.
Yeah, it did.
It did, but it was crazy getting there. So I'll let you.
I always downplay anything anyway. Like, somebody comes up to me sometimes, they're like, "Dude, you changed my life," and in my head, I'm thinking, "Dude, seriously?" Like, that to me, that's a major thing. Mm-hmm. So I said, "What did I say? What was so life changing?"
Yeah.
And, on a couple occasions, they tell me something. I was like, damn, I didn't even think of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking the Weekend NBA, there was a shitty hotel. It's like, what the hell is this? And you guys weren't even thinking that.
No.
See, so sometimes we got to stop thinking about what we think and start worrying about what other people think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I always try to do the opposite. Like, I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
But I kind of do, or I wouldn't have been making up excuses of why we're at that, whatever that was, that hotel.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't bad, but again, like, I had people literally walk up and they're like, as soon as I said, "Oh no, this isn't my event," because it really wasn't my event. Mm-hmm. But I was helping the guy put it on.
Yeah.
Sean guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, that was awesome. So how did you almost die coming to see me? So
I started feeling sick a couple days before we were going. So I'll give you a little bit of background. Back when I was 7 years old, I had been diagnosed with what they call portal hypertension. So it means I have, sometimes I'll grow varicose veins in my esophagus and stomach, and then they'll burst. So when I was 7 years old, they burst, and I ended up vomiting blood all over my mom's bed, and my mom, and buckets full, like ice cream pails full of blood. Like a
viewer discretion, by the way, if people get grossed out really easily.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was the very first time it ever happened. I had blood transfusions. I almost died, blah, 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 whatever. It's happened a few times since, not to that extreme, but very close. So I don't know if you know what hemoglobin is.
Sure I do.
Yeah. So so typically a male's hemoglobin is going to be about 165. Mine, typically when that happens, gets down to about 70, and then they say under 70 is blood transfusion, right? So so I started feeling sick. This hadn't happened for probably about 5 to 7 years or so. So before we were going, I started feeling sick. I was bloated. I could tell something was wrong, but this was something like she's a business. She wanted to go to this. I'm like, I can't act like it's something serious, right? So I didn't even tell her what was going on.
I had no idea. I just thought
we were just dating at the time. We weren't even married, right? So
at the weekend MBA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I'm just going to push through. So I had checked and made sure I had health insurance if something happened in the States. And so we ended up, I told her I'm sick. I don't feel well. She's like, okay, well, just get us across the border because I do better under that kind of situation. So we're just going to bypass the whole border thing and then move on because we're actually going to court in Canada when we get back for leaving the country. So we got to go to court. But so
because they didn't want you to?
They didn't want us to, yeah. And we did.
I wonder why. Isn't that weird?
I know.
Yeah. So
good old Canada. Anyway,
so as soon as we got over the border, I shut it down. I'm like, I can't drive anymore. Like
he's like gray. Like he looks dead. He's like gray. I'm like, okay, he's sick.
Yeah. So she drove. I slept for probably almost 10 hours, I think. And then we stopped in, I woke up and I'm like, we were in Idaho Falls and I'm like, we got to stop. I feel sick. Like I need to like chill out and just be somewhere so I don't die, right? And she still just thinks I'm sick. I didn't tell her. I know. So we get this Motel 6 in Idaho Falls, and I'm like, I gotta have a bath. I'm just gonna relax in the tub, and I'll be fine. She's worried. So we get the bath ready, and she's sitting there talking to me, and then she's like, "You gonna be okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." So she gets up and leaves the bathroom, and then what was it, like 30 seconds?
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe 30 seconds. All of a sudden I hear like, it sounded like choking. I'm like, what the fuck? So I get up off the bed and I go around the corner and into the bathroom, and I'm looking, I see the mirror first, and he is like projectile vomiting, like black. Like, cause so blood when it's old is like, looks like coffee grounds, right? So it's basically black, like hitting the opposite side of the tub. Sorry for anyone that gets like squeamish easy, but so he's vomiting. So I'm like, holy shit. So I run up to him and I get there and he's like he's not even conscious. His pupils are like pinpoint. And he had just stopped puking at that time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be expensive. Like, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, if he doesn't come to in like the next 5 seconds, I'm calling 911. And he's out of it. And I'm like the most like calm person. I don't smack people. And I'm like, boom, like wake up. And I'm thinking like, he's going to start choking on his puke. So I'm thinking of how I got to get him on his side. And so he finally comes to, and again, like he looked like I was looking at a dead person. Like he was gray. There was nothing in him. And he just like, what happened? And I'm like, there's like everything is everywhere in this tub, right? And I'm like, what just happened?
Old blood, new blood.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah.
Yeah. So he's just like totally out of it.
And then that was it?
And yeah, so he basically, so yeah, we're like,
all I had to do is puke up the blood and you were fine?
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, so basically what the biggest issue with this is when he has these like spells go on, they heal, they'll clot, right? And they heal up. So by the time he ever really gets to the hospital, it's starting to heal up and they can't, they'll tie off a few of them, but that just clots up and stops.
What condition is that called?
It was called portal hypertension. Yeah,
Damn.
There's not really too much known about it. It's they think it came from an infection, an umbilical infection when I was born, but they don't know.
He should have went to the hospital.
So she was trying to get me to go to the hospital. I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital. Like, this is going to be too much. We got to catch our flights, because we had already booked flights from Salt Lake, because we drove across to fly from Salt Lake to Miami. So we got to catch our flight. We got to get it. So I said, if I'm not well in the morning, if I don't feel well in the morning, we'll go to the hospital. And then I wasn't going to tell her that, even no matter how I felt, we weren't going to the hospital. So
I can't make you do anything, because you're stubborn.
I guess she was up all night. I slept fine.
Yeah, because I'm worried he's going to start puking and then choke and die. So I'm like sitting up the whole night just watching him. And we woke up the next morning and he hadn't puked. He was fine. And then, fine, quotations. And then we caught our flight and went down, and he was still like pale, but it was starting to look, slowly becoming better. But so
I'm going to guess my hemoglobin was close to like 70, 80, something like that. So I'm dragging ass. I'm tired, and we get there. We had to get to the front row, so we were in the front row, and relaxing until day 2, where Andy Elliott comes out, takes our front row seat.
Yeah, we're like, who are these people? They just pulled up a full row.
Push us back. And then Andy gets up on stage. He starts yelling at everybody, telling everybody how they're lazy and disrespectful for sitting down. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to stand up. I'm just so tired. I can barely stand. I'm holding the chair, and I'm like, okay. And he keeps going on and on and on. I'm like, I got to sit.
He went on and on.
Yeah, he did.
I got to sit. And then I'm like, I'm not going to be that guy.
Did you tell him the story?
Yeah.
I did, yeah. So I never sat the whole time, and he was done, and that was, and then by that I started to feel better after all that.
See, I always make fun of people that tell people to stand up. Andy's the opposite. He's like, they gotta wake up.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like, chill, because if you do it to me, I ain't standing up, and if you embarrass me, I just leave.
Yeah.
Like, I went to a Tony Robbins event to audit Tony's courses, because we were going to make VT courses, and he had me front row, and it was cold as shit, and they kept having me do these dumb things with people, like interactions, like massage each other and scream in each other's face and all this weird shit. I don't like it. So I just kept going to the bathroom. Going to the bathroom. I got to go to the bathroom. Every hour and a half I had to go to the bathroom. But, okay, everybody get up. Everybody get up. I'm like, I do the same thing. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, if I didn't have Andy speak there, then you wouldn't have known Andy, though.
Well, exactly. We met great connections there. Christy Code Red.
We were sitting beside her.
Christy Code Red's a badass.
Yeah, because I remember it was so funny, because she's sitting beside me, and I'm like, who's this lady?
She spent money to be there too.
Yeah. And then you went on stage, and you're like, it's crazy seeing badasses like, Christy here at these events. And then I'm like, what do you do? But that was,
she crushes it.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, she came and talked to us in one of the intermissions there, and we ended up taking her dog. She sent us her dog for a month, and we trained her dog, and we're good friends with her now.
See how you got business from going?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
totally. And probably all of that will eventually, or already has, led up to far more than you spent to get there.
100%.
Exactly.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, I ain't paying that much to be there. Dude, if you show up at these events and you introduce yourself and you start meeting people and you network and you build relationships, it pays for the event.
100%.
A million times more too.
Yes, that networking.
But there's a lot of people that they don't think like you. They sit in the back of the room. They don't go VIP, so they're not in those rooms meeting people intimately. They're just watching the speakers. They hear what they say, they take their notes, and then they leave quietly. They don't talk to anyone else that's at the event. They don't build relationships. Yeah. I feel bad for them, because that's not what those events are about.
No. Yeah.
Those events are, what I tell people to do is worry more about who's in the audience than who's on the stage. Like, who cares who's on the stage? You listen to the person on stage, I bet you Google them and follow them, you're going to hear the same shit they already said before. Yep. You're just going to hear it in a different way on a stage.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know who's sitting next to me. Why are they here? What they're trying to grow like I'm trying to grow? Shit, we need to know each other. Yep. And I'd be hand gladding and introducing myself. And by the time I left there, I'd know everybody that went there, and I'd get so much freaking value out of that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, we met a couple, like Maddie Washington.
Maddie.
Yeah.
So how did you guys know to do this? or you just accidentally, naturally did it?
We just did. We just started talking to people.
Because you're just friendly Canadians.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I asked the question. I asked, I can't remember who it was, about personal branding. I had stood up and asked a question about my brand. And then after that, people started coming up to us. And then we, that kind of broke the ice a little bit, because I kind of put myself out there to go ask the question. I was so nervous to ask this. I thought it was a stupid question. But why
do you have two dogs kissing as your logo?
Two dogs kissing? Where?
What are they doing?
Your logo.
Oh, yeah, this one. I don't know. They're just together.
They love each other.
They're just meeting in the middle.
Leaf?
This is the one that can go embroidery. The other one's cooler. It's more detailed design. But
yeah,
is that a maple leaf?
Yeah, it is.
Because you love Canada so much.
Well,
we got an American one now.
We have an American version.
Are you guys moving here?
We're trying. Yeah.
Does that require permission from both governments?
Well, we need to do once we open, we need an E2 visa. So that gives us the ability to manage, and then we have to hire an American employee, at least one American employee. So
I want to go to Florida.
Well, that's easy. You want to move to Florida? Mm-hmm. What about you?
It's too hot there for me.
And muggy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She likes it there, but I'll probably end
DeSantis is pretty good too.
What is it?
DeSantis over there.
Oh yeah, I like DeSantis.
Yeah, we'll probably end up there because she's the boss. How am I going to say no to her?
I trained him well.
That's right.
See,
you should do a course on training men.
Well, I've been told that. He was a walking commitment issue when I met him. So now he's,
believe it or not, I think it would sell.
Yeah. No, it's been.
Well, we cracked the code for training dogs, but I think she's cracked the code for training me anyway. I can't train a spouse. I've had a couple of them, and they didn't stick around. So
and you guys, again, listen, not for nothing, but you guys are figuring it out as you go.
Yeah.
And you're growing. You got 5 locations. You got an online training system that could go berserk.
Yes.
Because, there's millions and millions of dog owners. Mm-hmm. So you guys realize all you have to do is let them understand who you are and what you do. And you could theoretically and potentially sell millions of passwords. Yeah. Now, will it be likely? Well, no, because I don't think millions and millions of people will ever know who you are. Mm-hmm. Unless you advertise, unless you market, unless you get out on those stages, unless you do shit like Andy would, like that shit's going viral with Andy. But I don't know. I didn't read the subtitles to see, that's them, and how do I get a hold of them? But it was cool. Mm-hmm. So like you guys could, build a personal brand with those dogs. And, I'm telling you got a big thing on your hands.
Well, we actually hired the Elliott Group to help us with our marketing, and we're actually the CRM. I think that's Real Financial, isn't it? The CRM system.
Relationships.
Real relationships. Yeah. So that's how, that's what we're moving everything towards, the Elliott Group and what you guys do, because like it's just done well.
Just full in and like figure it out as you go. But I don't know. You have to take that risk. So
you have to. Yeah. I don't know how much. Oh.
Yeah.
That was for both of you.
Yeah. Nice. There you go.
I don't know who won the bomb bet.
Well, I don't know.
I think I'm a 2. You're a 1?
I don't know. Probably you.
No.
That's all right.
All right. So let me give you a chance. What's one thing you would tell any business owner or entrepreneur that's getting started, that's like this far from giving up because they just keep getting hit after another with problems and situations? What would you tell them?
To keep pushing, because once you get past that point, there's something new, something good that's on the way.
That's what everyone would say.
Dig
deeper.
Dig deeper. Don't have a plan B.
Yes.
Burn the ships.
Yeah.
Burn the ships.
What's yours?
I'm thinking on it. So what would I
drop a bomb on them?
I know. So you're someone that is going through something, you're getting hit.
No, you're trying to build a business, man, but you've been hit so many times, you're about to give up. What do you tell them?
I think that
here it goes.
that like boundary you hit when you're about to give up is like, once you cross that, once you keep pushing that, I think that's when everything explodes in a good way. That's when you break through and have like the breakthrough. That's the word I'm looking for. Because it is like that's
keep going, isn't it?
It is keep going. I guess it's all going to depend on your situation, right?
But
you got to find someone that's going to be able to help you along your journey. I think.
Hey, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
What's that?
you got to find someone that can help you.
There, we're talking.
Okay, there you go.
Now it's 2-2.
I think, I feel
But that's right. See, everyone will say, you keep going, dude. You just keep going. Well, dude, no shit. Everybody knows that. Problem is, nobody does it. Why? Well, because they don't have anybody holding them accountable.
Yes.
They don't reach out and find somebody else that have already been there and done that to kind of coach them through it. And that's what a lot of people should do.
Yeah.
If someone told me that they were ready to give up, I tell them, ultimately, dude, go find somebody that you want to be like. In other words, I want to be this. Okay, good. Go find someone who's already that.
Yeah.
And you pay them, do whatever you need to do to get those guys to frickin' walk you through these times, because we all have them. They're not singled out. Like I had dude, it took me 8 years to build a company. Now I can build companies quicker because of my personal brand and because of my experience and because, all these other reasons. But I dude, most people would have given up after 8 years. How long did it take you before you guys started getting some traction?
I don't know.
We were doing the doubling thing. So every year we'd kind of double up on with the revenue that we were making. I think
that's good. That's good.
I feel like we're just starting to get
where it's going to come out.
We're just starting to get this traction. Like I'm super excited.
How long has it been then?
We're coming into our 5th year.
See what I'm saying? 5 years, dude. Most people give up after 5 years.
Yeah.
They go, oh, I ain't doing this. It took me 8. Most people quit after a couple months.
Well, we've done a lot of adjusting along the way. It's like calling an audible. Because we've had to shut different locations down, or we've run into problems where some of our trainers or managers get sick, and then we have to adjust and figure out what to do there. Or like Jenna alluded to before, the culture in one location, we got rid of everybody and had to start from scratch.
What if someone got bit at your facility? Isn't that a liability?
We have insurance.
Yeah.
So insurance will pay that.
Yeah.
But it is that's where having the training and stuff to make sure that you're trying to avoid those bites.
Yeah.
But
and so that's another thing we're doing with the Lightspeed too, is we're creating an online training platform for trainers. So what we want to do, our eventual goal is we want to get into training trainers or training companies, right? Because we have this platform now that'll be able to do it.
What about a password with the dog? Like you make me a dog and you give me a password with the dog.
A password with it, yeah. That's a good idea.
Like instead of a owner's manual, you
Yep.
just give me a password, so it's a digital owner's manual for the dog.
There you go.
yeah,
Telling you that might be revolutionary right there.
there you go. I'll take
And again,
that.
they should do it with human babies too.
Yeah.
Like, we brought our baby home for the first time. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We had to call grandma and grandpa and, ask around and find other people that have already done it.
Yeah.
Because a couple of times it's like, dude, one time baby was crying and crying and crying. And I thought, frick, let's take it to the hospital. It's crying. It's crying too much. Babies cry.
Yeah.
we didn't even know that.
Same with puppies in a crate.
I almost gave it up for adoption.
There's something wrong. Yeah.
But I've got a book, actually. I've finished writing it now. It's just getting edited. It's pretty much a manual on how to choose the proper dog for your lifestyle.
Because that's a huge thing too, is choosing the right dog. Because a lot of people, they see these dogs and they're cool, but they don't necessarily suit their lifestyle, right? Like Malinois.
That's when you get a cat.
Yeah, everyone wants a Malinois until they have one, and then for the most, like, again, you're gonna have exceptions to the rule, but for most for most dogs, they're they need a lot of activity, and
but mine's cool.
Yeah.
Like in other words, when I get home, sometimes she gets so excited, she'll
chatter.
Like Malingator.
Yeah.
They call them Malingators. I was wondering if that's why.
It's just that
they're just the bite. Yeah.
Well, you said chatter like that's a normal thing.
Yeah, for Malinois, I find it.
Yeah. So when I get home, she'll and she'll try to freaking snip my face. Like she's just so excited, she just wants to bite me.
Yeah, because it's genetic, right? It's there. Like when we breed these Malinois puppies at like 6 weeks old, like they're ripping your clothes. This is no training. This is pure genetics, right? These puppies are like shredding your clothes, and they're just
if I put on the bite sleeve, dude, she'll go after it.
Do you want to put on the bite sleeve? We got one here, and I got my dog that Andy was scared to
outside
take away from.
Yeah. Oh no, we
can do it another day.
I have no interest.
See, Andy said
there might be people here that do though.
Yeah.
People get off on that. Dude, I don't want a dog biting me. I don't care if I got a sleeve on it or not. Especially the one I saw you was ripping.
Yeah.
That thing wanted to pull somebody down.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she, you know, what's funny though is it just goes to show how you can have these level-headed dogs, because you let her off and then she'll go up to everyone and pet me, love me. Like there's a balance there. She's stable, and that's what you want.
Is that
in a
your dog?
That's my dog, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's
Sarah
her name?
Connor.
Huh?
Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Why Sarah Connor?
Just Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What do you call her?
Terminator fan. Sarah. I just call her Sarah.
Yeah. But she, again, sweet dog, but she'll do the game. She'll play the game, because that's just like genetically they want to bite, right? So
I interrupted you though. You were saying something about the Malinois. See, that's why I interrupt, because I'll forget if I don't.
I know.
And then when I
know,
interrupt,
and I'm trying to remember the track I'm on. I think
she was for genetics, for people,
people
getting
picking the right
The right
dogs.
dog.
Yes. Yeah, like it's
lifestyle.
exactly the lifestyle.
What about if you're gone a lot? What's the best dog?
If you want to take them with you, a Chihuahua.
No, I mean like if you're gone a lot, like a
like
cat.
A cat.
Yeah.
That's the best dog.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're gone a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
and
a
that's the
cat.
thing. Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, you know, with the Lightspeed, what we want, like, we have all these people coming up to us and they have these dogs and they can't live with these dogs. Like you said, like most people don't get dogs to leave them at home to do nothing with them. Most people want that companionship, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, we'd have so many, because we enjoy traveling. So that's again why we
You're making me want to go get my dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see her.
What's today? The 25th?
24th.
4th.
Yeah, so we paid till the 26th. I was going to leave them there till the 26th, but I'll probably go get them tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go see her. But yeah, so we'd have all these people come up to us saying, you know, like, oh, can you help me? Can you help? And we only had these physical locations in Canada. And Christy Code Red can probably send her dog to us in Canada, but most people can't do that kind of stuff, right? So we wanted to have this program where people can.
You want to help more people is the whole point of this.
Exactly,
This
like
system,
learn what to do, and then just like it's just the same stuff you preach, right? Getting the skill sets and then getting the habits, right? It's the same stuff with dog training. Like it's crazy how similar they are, because you know, get the skills, learn how to do it, and then just make it a habit every day. And then eventually it doesn't end up being so much work. It's not like, oh, I'm training now. It's my dog's already doing it and you're just maintaining it, right? I think a lot of people do think that, I have to. It's just like the gym. I think for a lot of people, you know, at the start, you know, and even for us, it's like, I don't want to go to the gym. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But then you force yourself into the habit of it. You make it a habit. And then eventually it's not as, you know, you start seeing your results. You start seeing all the benefits of it. It's not, you know, not as painful. So I think training's the same way. It's, at the start, it's, you know, there's a few people out there that are super passionate about it, and you know, they're a different story. But for most people, it's a chore. It's, you know, you gotta go out there and make sure your dog's doing what it's supposed to do and communicating with the dog well. But once you get in the habit of it, like the dog wants to do that, and dogs like having that black and white, like understanding of what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do, right? So once you've established that, then you know, it gets a lot easier. So
Do you ever get dogs that are like untamable?
Well, they are to other people, I guess, but not to us.
Well, you can train any dog. You're the dog whisperer now.
Well, that's
yeah.
You get a dog that bites everybody and calm it down and teach it not to bite.
Yes.
Basically all it takes, you need to build a relationship with a dog, and you need to have clear communication, right? We talked about this.
Yeah,
That's like a human too.
It is.
Exactly.
We were just talking about it. We're like, it is, you know, I think everyone out there loves their dog. There's no doubt about it. I think most people that get dogs love their dogs.
Not everyone, because you see these abusing pieces of shit.
Yeah.
With the dogs in the back, tied up, no food, hungry.
Yeah.
You know the PCA, or I forget.
SPCA.
Yeah, I watched a show one time where they would go around and bust people.
Yeah.
And there's some dicks out there mistreating their animals.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you're going to be that piece of a shit, give it up for adoption.
I know. Yeah. I know. Those ones are assholes for sure. And like, it's there, but the people, I think most people, like, we want that companion, and, you know, they love their dogs. And, you know, I was just telling Jason this, I'm like, you know, just like in human relationships, love is not enough. Like, that's, it's cool. You can love someone or you can love your dog, but is that enough to maintain that relationship? No. Usually not, right?
You
it's
also
communication.
have to do many other things.
Yeah. Communication, I would say, is a big one. And then respect, right? That this is my advice, I guess, for spouses of what worked on him, but is respect. I think that is a huge thing that is missing, and why a lot of people's relationships with humans and dogs fail is that lack of respect.
That's okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And then communication.
That's true, though.
Yeah, communication. And that's like when we say like, oh, we cracked the code with dog training, it isn't like a sales pitch to just, oh yeah, we cracked the code. No, it is. We've been able to help people communicate with their dogs better. And so now once they communicate, you have that respect, because now the dog understands what the expectations are. So,
and you're able to build that relationship.
Yeah. And then you build that relationship, and then it's just a heck of a lot easier.
Folks, who would you rather have your dog trained by? These two wonderful folks from Canada, or some asshole that beats your dog?
Exactly.
Like mine.
Yeah.
He almost died for it. That's
and how much passion I have for dog training. I almost died to get to the next level.
Dude, you almost died to come see me. You almost died to get to the next level. You almost die a lot.
I do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm resilient.
Yeah. It just keeps me on my toes.
I was going to say, how do you keep a dog from, like, if a dog is afraid, how do you teach it some confidence so it's not afraid?
A lot of it is obedience. So you teach it different obedience skills. You put it out into different stressful. We actually did a YouTube video just not too long ago about this, about putting your dog into.
You guys have a YouTube channel?
Yes, we do.
What's your YouTube channel?
Arsenal Canine.
Everything's Arsenal Canine, folks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow them on Instagram. What were you going to say?
So you have to create stress in your dog. Like, stress isn't always a bad thing, right? You got to take small steps and put your dog into stressful situations in order for them to build confidence.
Yeah.
Just like people, right? You have to get outside your comfort zone to build confidence to get to that next step, right? So the same with dogs. You have to get them out like puppies, let them explore, let them learn, let them, maybe they get poked by a cactus, right? That's one of our dogs. Never seen a cactus before. It was running up, sticks its nose in it, gets poked by a cactus. Now it's learned something, right? And it's not scared of it, but it knows to respect those kind of boundaries. The same with taking them out, getting them in public, letting them see other things and other people and other dogs, but not necessarily letting them engage. So that's kind of how you build confidence, because if you have a puppy or a new dog that you take out, you don't know what another person or another dog is going to do. So you want to keep your dog safe, right? If one attack from another dog is going to make your puppy's life harder, because then now you got to overcome that stress, that issue that the dog had with that other dog. Does that make sense?
The trauma.
Trauma. Exactly.
Funny.
And it's you're an advocate for your dog. Your dog can't communicate the same way you can, right? So you got to put yourself in a position to protect your dog in all these environments, especially puppies, right? Because they are so like malleable and fragile, and the world they're still figuring everything out, right? So you have to make sure that you control the variables as much as possible, but letting them have those small wins, so they're like you want those puppies to think they're top of the world.
Do you think if a dog is a biter and you bite the dog, it'll stop biting?
You?
Yeah. Like, I saw a video the other day where the little kid, he's probably 3 years old, the dog bit the kid and the kid started crying, so the kid grabbed that freaking dog and started biting it back. The dog's going, mark, 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 mark.
It depends what kind of dog you have. That could turn out very badly for the child.
Well, it was a puppy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have turned out bad in this case, but it was a puppy. But I was wondering, I thought to myself, that's funny, but I wonder if that would stop that dog from biting.
Well, it's similar to how the mom would deal with it.
It also shows you how advanced human beings are. With our hands and shit like that. There was just a little tiny baby, damn near 3 years old maybe, and the puppy bit its leg, and that baby, you could see it get angry, grab that freaking dog. That dog had no ability to defend itself, and this was a 3-year-old baby.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. So in that, because of that being a puppy and being young, that could have been enough of a correction really from that kid to have the dog understand, like, whoa, okay, I'm not going to do that, right? But it depends on the dog too, right? If you would have done that to an adult dog that was maybe a little bit more confident or aggressive, that could have been
there was an incident here where the 1-year-old crawled on the floor, got on the back of their big old dog. I forget what kind it was, but it was a big one. and that dog turned around and bit its head, and the baby died.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And the dog, they said the dog has been the nicest dog, never bites, never growls, nicest dog ever,
Yeah.
and actually killed your baby.
That's horrible.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude. What do you do?
I know. And that, again, that's where like that ultimate, like that respect, right? Because they're still animals, and they're still going to behave how they're, like their natural behavior.
And that's
right?
one of the
Well,
things
we're
we
animals.
see.
And we're
One of the things we see is people try to turn dogs into people. They give it the same feelings and the same, the same feelings. They just give that to the dogs, and the dogs don't have that. Right? They don't have that reasoning like we do.
They're on a 3-second loop.
Exactly.
All right. Well, listen, folks, appreciate you guys coming in.
Yeah, this
Especially,
is awesome.
you didn't die this time, did
Didn't
you?
die this time.
Not yet.
You could have.
Knock on
You
wood.
keep the story going with the guy that was breaking into the van.
Yeah.
You could have died that night.
It could have.
Yeah.
Could have.
That could have been a mass murder. One time, me and my buddy, we drove to LA in this Trans Am, and it had a T-top. And we were sleeping in the car because we didn't have any money. So we slept in the car, and we just find a little spot in a little alley or something. And one night we woke up, and there was a helicopter shining the lights on us. So we're like this, and all of a sudden cops start coming around the corner. We're like, what the hell? What are you doing? So they said, get out of here. They're looking for somebody, and it turned out it was the I-5 killer, Richard Ramirez.
Oh, really?
Remember Richard Ramirez?
Yeah, I remember the name. Yep.
Dude, we were sleeping in a car where they were looking for him,
Yeah.
and the T-tops were off, and we were just sleeping in a car. So we could have died that night.
Yeah.
You could have died. You don't know who was trying to break in your van.
No.
Anyway, appreciate you guys coming in, risking your life.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Like I said, for people that are listening, that are wanting to implement what you say, like we are proof that this works. What you're saying is working. Go out there, meet people, all that kind of stuff. Because
Are you saying that I speak the truth?
You speak the truth. You're the real Brad Lea.
That's right. See, there's another bonus.
Boom! I had to get that last one.
Folks, go get your dog training from Arsenal K9, the number 9.com. Go follow these guys, Arsenal K9 Academy on Instagram. Go get their book on Amazon, Odin's New Best Friend, Ultimate Canine Planner. And until next time, keep it real.